right, hello everyone. How is everybody today? Happy Monday. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hope you enjoyed some beautiful weather and had some fun outside, or just did something fun inside. I don't know, but whatever. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. I am super excited because I am sorting out some new press-on nails that we have in stock now. You guys, we've got some gorgeous nails for Halloween coming up, and these are a limited edition, so make sure that you check them out. I am just getting them organized, and all I like to do when I work with my press-ons is I'm using just a little ceramic tile with some double-sided tape on there, and this way I can sort out my nails without having to make too big of a mess, and it's just a lot easier for me when I'm working with them and applying them either on myself or on my clients. So just a quick and easy way to sort out your press-ons. So let me show you what we've got, you guys, because you can see we've got a bunch of different styles here. Oh, you hold on a second, you guys. I got so excited. I need to jump onto our YouTube here and pull up my chat so I can see what you guys are talking about. All right. Looks like you guys are all joining us here. Diva says you're doing your nails while watching. Perfect, you guys. Hopefully you are doing your nails, getting some ideas, getting some inspiration, and having some fun with us today. So let me show you first off all of the different designs that we've got. We've got 4 new collections here. Actually, let me put that back in here so I don't mix things up here. Somebody's asking, how long do they stay on? You guys, I'm going to talk about different applications with our press-ons, and some are going to be maybe a quick little, maybe a weekend application. Sometimes you may, if you're using the glue, you can get a longer wear out of them, but I'm going to talk about those in just a minute. I'm going to show you also how to apply them so that you guys can understand exactly how to do that. But first things first, let me show you all of the different nails that we've got. So the first one is called... Oops, sorry. This one is called Wicked Eclipse. And you guys, in the kits, they have more than one design in there. So we have set in the front here some of the more of the common sizes, but you can see there are different colors, different styles. So these first 2 rows down here, those are the Wicked Eclipse. So some blood drippings on those, some stars, some moons, just some really fun designs on there. So that one, again, was Wicked Eclipse. The next one here that we've got on my black tile is the Boo Crew. And again, some just really cute little jack-o'-lanterns in there, super cute, some little happy Halloweens, some bats in there, and the spider webs. I absolutely love these, you guys. These are, I think, are probably my favorite one, just because I love those cobwebs, and I think they're super cute, and just a really fun set altogether. So these 2 lines here on top are part of the Boo Crew kit. And then we also have the really long ones down here. Those nice long stilettos are the Don't Blink. Got some kind of eyeballs in there, so it's super fun on there. I love that they've got, you know, the combination. So we've got the eyeballs, we've got the solid reds, we've got the French. So you can really customize these and mix and match, and you can just create your own fun sets. And then the last one we have is called Full Moon Frights. And those are going to be your ghosts and a little bit more spooky looking, those jack-o'-lanterns there, some bats flying around. And these are also the ones with the orange, so that really bright neon orange, and then some more of those jack-o'-lanterns and bats. So those are the 4 different styles here. So you guys, I'm going to need your help today. I need to know, I'm going to do at least 1 set on myself. If we have time, maybe I'll do a second hand on myself. But you guys, I want to know which one is your favorite. Which one do you want to see me work with today? Let me know in the chat. Do you want the Full Moon Frights, which is this one? So you guys pay attention here, okay? Full Moon Frights. Then we have the Don't Blink. So Don't Blink. And then Boo Crew are the little pumpkins. And then the last one is Wicked Eclipse. So you guys, you got to let me know which one of those 4 do you want me to put on myself today. So let me know in the chat and I'll let you guys choose what I work with today. Okay? Just got to let me know in the chat. All right. So again, we do have 4 different sets. In each set, you're going to get 32 different nails. So there's 16 different sizes, so 32 nails all together. And again, you've got all of those different varieties in there, so you can customize and you can create your sets how you want to. Also in the kits, so let me just set these off to the side and I'll show you actually what comes in all of the kits. So in the kit, you're going to open that up, and so on the top section you've got, kind of like I was saying, those the more common sizes in there. You also get a little miniature file in there. You get an orange wood stick, and then when you take that top section off, you're going to take that little paper off, you're going to have a little baggie with the rest of those nails in there. So you're going to have, like I said, 32 different nails, 16 different sizes. You're also going to have a alcohol wipe to cleanse off those nails. You're going to have the adhesive tabs, which is what I'm going to show you working with today, and then I may show you a little bit of the adhesive. But the adhesive tabs are going to be more for that temporary set. And then if you do want a little bit longer wear, maybe for a week or even longer sometimes, you can use the glue. So all of that comes together in the kit. And let's go ahead and start prepping my nails. So again, you guys let me know in the chat which one you want to see. And I'm seeing, let's see, some Boo Crew, some Full Moon Frights, Don't Blink looks more like a Valentine's Day. I mean, yeah. And you guys, let me tell you this. I forgot to mention one of the fun parts. So we just launched these nails today. They just showed up on our website today. So to do a fun little deal for you guys, we are doing a bundle deal. So if you purchase any of the Halloween collections, so any of the Halloween nails, the sets that I'm working with today, you get to choose one of our original sets. So what I mean by original sets are any of the other press-on nails that we have listed on there. You get to choose one of those original sets, all for the price of the one set. So make sure to check that out. And you guys, I'm going to show you a couple of different sets from the originals that you could get as your freebie that are going to be fun for Halloween. I just kind of pulled a few of them that I like for the Halloween. So these could be your free, basically your free gift with purchase is what I'm going to call it. But it is a bundle deal, so you can pick and choose. But like I was saying, you can take those designs and mix and match. So you could bring in some of these other different sets and mix and match those as well. So this one is called Citrus Crush. So if you really like those bright orange, bright neon ones, again, you guys, these are going to be some other add-on great ideas that you can wear for Halloween and this time of year. So kind of the spooky time of year. We've got Jade Allure, we've got Mommi-Lime Green, and you guys, I love these ones. The Lime Green, the Mommi-Orange, and the Mommi-White. Those are all, I love them because they're super cute, just kind of those swirls on there. I think these are going to be great for Halloween as well. So you could choose these as your free one when you purchase the Halloween ones. So just a great option for you guys there. I'm seeing lots of Boo Crew. So the Boo Crew, let me think. The Boo Crew was this one. So you guys like the Boo Crew? Okay, so maybe we'll do the Boo Crew. And let's see, whoops. I don't know. We'll start with the Boo Crew. So we'll start with this one. We'll set these off to the side here. Okay, so we'll start with Boo Crew. But to start, I am going to prep my nails. Now, depending on if you are just doing your own or if you're working on a client, if you're going to be putting these on a client, I would go through and make sure that you're doing your really good full prep. And what I mean by full prep is pushing back those cuticles. And you guys, you can see a little bit of that cuticle kind of growth around the edges. Push back those cuticles, so this way when you do put those press-ons onto the nail, you don't have that cuticle really interfering. You don't have that cuticle kind of stuck down to the nail. So go through and get those cuticles pushed back, get them nice and cleaned up. If you want to, you can use the cuticle softener. So you could apply just a little dab of that cuticle softener on each of those cuticles. Massage that in, give that maybe a couple of minutes, maybe 3 minutes or so, 2 to 3 minutes to start to soften up that cuticle, and then you could go through and really get that cuticle pushed back and cleaned up. So if you are doing your press-ons along with your manicures, then I would definitely use that cuticle softener, apply that, and then go through and push back those cuticles. Get those really well cleaned up. Once you have gone through and pushed back those cuticles, actually you guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that because my cuticles are they're looking pretty dry. So let me go ahead and put a little bit of that cuticle softener on each of my cuticles. We'll just let that absorb in, massage that in. Now, after you do push back the cuticles, you are going to want to rinse this off or use a hot towel, and I'm going to show you that in a second here. But while that is working on our cuticles, I'm going to grab either my toenail clipper or my fingernail clipper. I actually like to use my toenail clipper. I'm going to shorten up my natural nails. Anytime I'm working with the press-ons, whether it's on myself or on my client, a lot of times I will still trim down my natural nail. So that way when I go to put these on, it's not going to show my natural nail hanging off the side. Let me grab one of, actually let me grab one of these here. So if we take a look here, if you were to put this one on, I'm going to kind of over exaggerate this so you guys understand what I'm talking about. But if I were to put this tip on, do you see how my natural nail is still kind of showing through down at that free edge? I do like to trim my nails a little bit shorter, so this way I'm not going to see that little bit of free edge hanging out around that underneath side of the tip. So I just like to shorten those up a little bit, so this way they're not going to be hanging out underneath my press-on. Now, if you don't want to trim your nails, you guys, you don't have to, especially if you're going to be just doing these press-ons as maybe a temporary kind of a set, and you want to keep your natural nail under there, you can definitely do that. Personally, though, I like to take that down, especially see how on the sides there, I like to take that down on those edges so that way it's not going to hang out underneath my tip here. So again, just shortening those up. Now I could use that little file that comes in the kit here. It does come with a little file there. Otherwise, I actually really like our 240 grit file buffers. So when I'm working on my natural nail, I just like to use that 240 file to shape up that natural nail and just kind of smooth out the edges. So again, if you're working in salon, I would definitely use the 240. It's going to be a lot easier than that little file that comes in the kit. That little file is something that maybe if you're working at home, you could definitely use that at home. But if you're a salon tech and you're applying these to your clients, I would go with the 240 file buffer. So this way you can go through and just gently shape up those nails. If you have any rough edges, that's where you can just flip over to the other side of the file buffer and you can use that buffer to smooth out those rough edges. So I'll do that here in just a second. But you guys notice that I put that cuticle softener on and then I shortened up and I'm shaping. That's giving that cuticle softener a little bit of time to work and to help really exfoliate that cuticle. So just going through, filing, buffing, shaping those natural nails while that cuticle softener has a chance to work. All right, so once we've given that a little time to work, then I can go ahead, push back my cuticles, get those cleaned up a little bit better, get some of that dead skin cleaned off of there, make sure that my cuticle isn't stuck down to my nail, and then we'll give these nails just a quick little buff. Now, I'm not trying to create a completely smooth surface. I actually could even go in either with my 240 side of my buffer, or if I wanted to, I could grab a 180 file buffer combo as well. And I think for today, because my cuticles are a little bit dry and kind of stuck onto my nails there, I'm going to use that 180. Just gently buffing up around that cuticle area and smoothing out any last little ridges or anything around my natural nail. So just giving it a nice smooth finish. And again, if you're working in salon, you would go through and you would do your whole regular manicure, your manicure process, push back the cuticles, shape up those nails, do all of your cuticle work how you normally would. If you do need to do any nipping of cuticles, you can do that. You guys, I generally will nip any cuticles after I've cleansed the nail. So this way I can go through and I'm just buffing those nails smooth, and then any last little bits of cuticle that maybe don't release as I'm buffing, I'll get those after I'm done here. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I'm just gonna grab, you guys, I got a wet towel here, and that's what I'm gonna use to cleanse off that cuticle softener. You always wanna make sure that you do remove that. Either wash your hands with a little bit of soap and water if you have access, or your sink is nice and handy. But here, just on camera, I just have my quick little wet towel that I'm gonna use to cleanse off that cuticle softener, okay? All right, to cleanse off any of that dust. If I did have any last little bits of cuticle that I wanted to trim, I could definitely go ahead and do that at this point. But we're gonna get into our nails here because I know that's what you guys really wanna see. And let's see, I think you guys chose, what did you guys choose? You chose the Boo Crew to do our first set today. And so we're gonna go ahead and size these out. Now again, I have most of them set out onto my tile here so that I just have them in order so that I know what's what. But let me grab the rest of these here. Oops, get back on there, little guy. Okay, so we've got the rest of these here. So I'm gonna use probably some of what I've got on here and then some from in the kit here. So let's start with my thumbs. Now, when you're sizing your press-ons, you guys, today I'm going to show you how to work with the adhesive tabs. Let me grab these here. So the adhesive tabs are going to go either onto your nail or into the well of that tip, and that's what's going to adhere that tip onto the nail. Now, if you take a look at these, they're not very thick, but they do have just a slight thickness to them. So when you're sizing out your tips and you're using the adhesive tabs, you want to make sure that you're not sizing that tip. Let me show you a smaller one here. You want to make sure you're not sizing that tip where your natural nail is going to show on those sides, because when you put that adhesive tab under, it is going to raise up that tip just a little bit more, so you're going to have even more empty space on the side. So this tip here, it looks like it fits pretty okay, but if I look closely at the side, it's going to be short on the side. So I want to make sure that I'm going at least one size bigger. So let's go to the next size up. Take a look at that. Now this one, I feel like this one is looking a lot better. So see how it's coming almost all the way to the sides? I still have just a little bit of that corner hanging off the edge. So I might even go one size bigger, but we're going to check and see. This one might be a little too big. And that's kind of what I'm feeling here. So this one's a little bit too big around my cuticle area, but it does fit from side to side. So I think I'm actually going to go with this one. Let me check with that smaller size just really quick. I don't know. I think I like this one a little bit better. I feel like this one's going to fit up into my cuticle area just a little bit better. So I'm going to show you something, you guys. You could either go with this size and have it just a little bit shorter if you're working, or if you're just wearing these, you know, maybe for a quick weekend event or something, you're not super concerned. You could maybe go with that little bit smaller size and not worry too much about that little edge hanging off. If you are going to be wanting to wear these and you want them to be absolutely perfect, what I would say is go with the larger size. But then you can take your file, and I'm going back to that 180 file buffer combo. If you need to, you can go through and you can customize those edges a little bit. You can do some filing around those edges, taper those in a little bit. So if you need them to fit a little bit more custom right up into that cuticle area, you can do that. Okay, so go ahead and customize them, and you can absolutely do that to make sure that they fit. But you guys, I always want to make sure that I'm not sizing them so big that I'm going to be putting them onto the cuticle. I always want that tip on that natural nail, not on that skin, okay? Somebody's asking about pricing. You guys, the prices are on our website, but we are doing a bundle deal right now. So if you buy any of the 4 new Halloween designs, you get to choose your own other of our original designs for free. So it's basically a buy one, get one free. So you guys, you can't go wrong with this bundle deal. So make sure to check that. I know somebody was asking in the comments about pricing. Okay, so let me check this one more time. I think I am gonna go with the with the smaller size just to kind of make sure that that's going to look really cute on there. Okay, so we've got our thumbnail ready to go. And let's see, what are we going to put on our pointer here? I think I'm going to try, maybe let's see one of the pumpkins here. Now this one, if we take a look here, I feel like this one's feeling a little bit too tight onto my nail. I want to check my C-curve of the nail. So if you take a look down the barrel of the nail, the C-curve, the curve of my nail this way, I want to make sure that it's fitting into the C-curve of that tip. So make sure to check on there. Make sure that you're not having to really force that down on there. If it does feel too tight, you may want to go one size larger. So let's check one size larger to the white one. I feel like that one might be pretty good as well. So I'm going to set that one here off to the side, but just in case, let me check. Okay, so I think this one's definitely going to be a little too big. You can see that it's hanging off the edges a little bit too much. So let me put that one back. Let me check one of our other white ones down here. This one actually feels better. So this one, I can even feel that it's just setting on that nail. It's not pinching down onto the nail, but it's also not hanging off the edges, and it is covering my natural nail underneath. So I'm going to use that one instead. And then for our middle finger, that one I think we're going to go with one of our orange little pumpkins here. Or maybe even, actually I'm going to save that one. But let's take a look at our Happy Halloweens. Oh, I think I like the Happy Halloween on there. What do you guys think? Do you like the Happy Halloween? I think I like that one. And this one actually does feel like it fits a little bit better than that orange one. That orange one felt just a little bit tight, and you can see it's not quite covering all the way to that edge. So let's take that orange one, see about our ring finger. Nah, the ring finger on that one looks a little bit big. So I'm going to go back down to that smaller size. All right. That one I think I'm liking. Yep, I think I like those four so far. And then for my pinky, how about that cute little bat? All right, I think I like how those are laid out. So you guys notice that as I was sizing out, I did lay those out in the order that I was going to use them. Now you could put them upside down, right side up, whatever. But I like to see how they're going to look. So if I feel like maybe I wanted a little bit more orange on this one, I could grab a different one. So this is going to be here. And I don't know, you guys, maybe I feel like that white one fits a little bit better. But I think I like the orange. What do you guys think? Do you want the orange or do you want the white on this nail? Because if I decide to go with the orange, I may have to customize or change that up just a little bit. But you know what, you guys? I think because we've already got the pumpkin on the ring finger down here, I think we're going to be okay. So we're going to do just one of each of those designs. Okay, so let's get into how to actually apply these. So I'm going to take and cleanse my nails. Now I gotta find the rest. Oh, here we go. So in the kit, you're gonna notice that you have an alcohol wipe. Now, if you're doing these at home for yourself, you would definitely use the alcohol wipe. If you're in salon and you have access to our swipe, you can also use the swipe as well. And you guys, you can reuse these tips, but there's only one alcohol pad in there. So if you're going to reuse these with the adhesive tabs, I would definitely recommend grabbing a bottle of swipe from our website. It's just going to be a really quick and easy way to cleanse the nails. So I'm actually going to use the swipe, and I'm going to take one of our lint-free wipes, pump a little bit of the swipe onto my lint-free wipe. I'm going to cleanse the nail really, really well, making sure that there's no more oils or any contaminants on here. So really making sure that nail is nice and clean. And once you cleanse it with the swipe or the alcohol wipe, it should look nice and dry. If it doesn't look dry, if it looks kind of oily still, you may need to go through and cleanse one more time. But this is going to help to get any of the dust or contaminants and germs and oils and things like that off of your nail, so it's going to be nice and dry. Now, one other thing I'm going to do before I actually adhere these is I'm going to take a little bit of our polish remover. So we're on to the next polish remover. And let me back my camera out a little bit here. I'm going to pump a little bit of this up into the little cup here, and using my Polish Perfector brush, I'm going to just take a little bit of that polish remover, and I'm going to brush that into the well of my tip. What this is going to do is this is actually going to create a little bit more of kind of a grippy surface in that well. So when you put this on, you put the little adhesive tab in there, it's going to really adhere really, really well. Now, you guys, I just want to check my sizing here on this one real quick. I think this one I needed to customize just a little bit. So I'm going to just round this one out a little bit on the corners, making sure that it's going to fit right into the well, or into my cuticle area of my natural nail. So just a real quick touch up there just to make sure. Okay, so that's going to look a lot better now. All right, so going back to a little bit of that polish remover, brushing that into the well, just making it a nice sticky surface. And I'm not putting this onto the front. I'm not putting this onto the design edge, just onto the back. All right, brushing that through. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my adhesive tabs, okay? Now you can see the adhesive tabs, you've got all kinds of different sizes on here, and let's see, I'm going to peel off the backing. So it does come with a little plastic backing on it. We're going to peel that off. I'm just going to peel that off of the one side because we're probably going to only use the tabs on one side here. And we'll grab that. Now, you could do a couple of different things. You could either put the adhesive tabs on your nails first, and then you could apply the tip onto your nail. But what I actually like to do is I like to go through and I'll take the tabs and I'll apply them to my tips, so that way I can just put them on real quick and easy. So let me show you how I do that. So let's size out. I'm going to size out my tip. So I'm going to take that tip and I'm going to hold that right behind the little adhesive tab to just kind of check and see, is that going to fit into the well? And I think this little size, this number 17, is the smallest one that we've got here. So I think that one is going to work. So it has, if you take a look, you're going to see it's got a little tag on the end. You're going to grab that little tag. You're going to peel off that tab. And we're going to stick that right down into the well. So we're going to stick that right in the well, make sure that's right down in there. It's stuck to my finger here. Really stick that down into the well, get it to grab on there really, really easily, okay? All the way through. Now, I'm going to leave that little tab on there. I'm going to set that nail down, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to put my tabs on all of the nails here. So like I said, this way I can just go real quick through my application, and I don't have to worry about the sticky tabs on my own nails. So again, we size that out. We're going to put that right into the well. Make sure that really you're covering as much of that well as possible. I'm just using my other finger here to just really press that down, really press that tab in there. Again, I've got that little bit of that tab that's hanging off there. So we'll grab another one, again, sizing out. So this one's getting to be a little bit bigger. So I think we're going to grab that larger size tab, and again, peel that off, stick that into the well. And you guys, as I'm working here, notice that I'm not sticking to the well. That's where that little tab is. There's a little bit of plastic coverage on that tab. So this way I can really use a lot of pressure, get that tab stuck down in there, or get that adhesive stuck down in there, and then I can peel off that tab as we work. So let's size out our next one. I think that one's going to look good from side to side. Grab the little tab, peel it off the backing, set that down into the well. Now you guys, if there is a little bit of that, that tab that does hang off the edges, see how right here there's a tiny little bit? You can just grab your nipper, take your nipper, and if you need to, you can just trim off that little edge. So not a big deal if maybe your edge didn't go perfectly right to the side. If there was anything hanging off, you can always trim that off, okay? And our last one here with our little cobwebs, that is definitely going to be one of our larger tabs. So I think this is actually going to be size number 1. So again, we'll peel that off, set that right down into the well, really secure that down in there, secure that really well. And one thing that I forgot to grab is my tweezer. You guys, I like to use a tweezer when I'm working with these because I feel like it's a little bit easier. So at this point, I'm just going to grab that little tab from the back. I'm going to peel that off, and this is what's going to expose that adhesive. So I'm going to peel that off. I'm going to turn that over. Now I'm going to put this onto my nail, but when I put it on, I don't just squish it down flat. I like to start at a slight downward angle, kind of set it onto the nail, and then push it back towards that cuticle. So this way you're actually pushing that cuticle back, so you're not going to be setting that tip on skin. You're going to actually get that right up flush to that cuticle area. And you're going to just attach it just gently. You don't want to put a lot of pressure at this point. Attach that gently so it sticks, but then you can adjust it. So if I need to move that, if I need to straighten it out, once I know that's on there straight, then I can use my other fingers here, really press that down well, really get that stuck on there and adhered really well. Super cute! Oh my gosh, you guys, what do you think? Do you love the little bats? I think they're so cute. I love them. Absolutely love them. Let's go ahead and put our little jack-o'-lantern on there. Same thing, I'm going to peel off that little plastic adhesive, or the plastic backing on the adhesive. Take that nail at a slight downward angle, push back my cuticle, attach that on there, check that to make sure it is nice and straight, looks good, and then I'm going to squish that down there, use a good amount of pressure, set that down onto our nail, and we've got our super cute second nail. All right, let's go to our Happy Halloween. Let's grab our tweezer here, peel off that backing. And you guys, this is what I meant when I said, you know, wait or leave all those adhesive, the tabs on there. So this way you can just apply them really quick, really easily, and you don't have to worry about putting the tab on, taking the tab off, putting the tab on, taking the tab off. So it's just going to go nice and quick flow here, nice and easy all the way through. All right, and then we've got just our plain white one here. Peel off that backing, turn that over, push back my cuticle area. Looks nice and straight. We'll squish that down on there. Use a good amount of pressure to really adhere that. And you guys, as you're wearing these, be very careful. You don't want to be putting a lot of pressure at the ends. I know a lot of times when we get nails on, we kind of like to play with them and, you know, put pressure on. But make sure that with the adhesive tabs, that if you're putting pressure on, you put pressure here. So every time you go to kind of squeeze that nail, that's going to re-secure those tabs down there. It's going to re-secure those nails on. So this way they're going to wear a lot longer. Okay, so make sure that you're not putting pressure at the free edge because that'll lift up on those tabs. But you guys, I will tell you that these tabs are a lot stronger than you would think. They actually will hold these, they'll hold these nails on, I would say, for a good weekend, okay? So if you've got party plans for the weekend, if you've got those Halloween parties coming up, these are definitely going to be able to hold on for that weekend for you. And if you do lose one or two, you guys, there is a whole rest of these tabs. If you're going to a party or something, make sure to tuck these into your bag, tuck them into your purse, or, you know, just bring them with you just in case if you do lose one. But I'm going to tell you, they are very secure. They're not going anywhere, and you really do have to put some pressure on there if you were wanting to remove them. So at this point, we've got our cute little nails on, but I do want to kind of clean up a couple of these edges. There's just a couple that I want to round out just a tiny little bit. So I'm going back to either my 180 file buffer combo or my 240. Actually, I think I like the 240 on these. It's a little bit softer, so I'm not going to take off any of that design, and just buff out that end, make sure it's nice and smooth. And you guys, the reason that they get those little kind of those little tags at the end or that little rough edge is just how the tips are molded. So you just always want to go through, take off that sharp edge or any sharp edges or anything that you want to do around around that free edge. And you know what, you guys, you can even change the shape. So if maybe you wanted these a little bit more rounded, you could make them a little bit more rounded. or you could straighten them off and have a little bit more of a coffin shape. So you can adjust these. You can mix and match them. You can change up your sets. Like I was saying, when you buy one box of the Halloween designs, you get another box of another design for free. So I would actually maybe even add in one of the lime green swirls on here. I think that would be kind of a fun add-on there. Or you can even add in those orange swirls. Just kind of create the sets that you want. So even though it does come with all of these different designs in the package, you can mix and match and you can customize them and create your own sets. So that's also a good way of using up some of the other sizes. So maybe, maybe some of the rest of these sizes might fit on some other nails of mine. And then I could add in some others of these to fill in with the ones for the ones that I used. So you can mix and match, you guys. Let your creative juices flow. Okay, one last thing before I do my second set here is I'm going to finish with a little bit of cuticle oil. Now you guys, when you're working with cuticle oil, this is to hydrate your cuticles. If you apply too much, it is going to start to loosen that adhesive tab underneath. So when you're putting your cuticle oil on, just put a little drop on. And that was actually a little bit more than I wanted. So you can put a little drop on all the way around those cuticles to hydrate everything, but don't apply so much to where it's going to start to loosen that adhesive. Now, if you do want to remove them, then I would say put a little bit more of that cuticle oil on and let that kind of get underneath the nail. That way you can basically grab the end. I'm going to leave these on. I'm not going to take them off. But you can grab the end and just slide and kind of pull that adhesive off. And having that little bit of extra cuticle oil underneath is going to help to kind of loosen that up. Okay? But you do want to keep your cuticles hydrated. You want to keep everything nice and healthy. And you do want those Halloween nails looking super cute. All right, you guys, second set. What did we vote on for the second set? I know you guys, I know I kind of was watching there earlier, but I forgot what set you guys wanted to see. So I think I am going to do, so let's see, this set was the Boo Crew. So these were the Boo Crew. We also had the Wicked Eclipse, and we had the Don't Blink. And we also had, the last one was Full Moon Frights. And I think I saw a lot of votes for the Full Moon Frights, so I think I'm going to do that one next. So let me set those other ones off to the side, and we'll bring those in here. Same thing, as I am sizing these out, I'm going to go through, I'm going to start by shortening up my natural nails. Again, you guys, if you'd prefer not to shorten up your natural nails, you don't have to. I just like to because I feel like otherwise my natural nail sometimes just gets in the way of the press-ons. So personal preference, you can shorten up or you don't have to, but I'm going to just go through just quickly and shorten those up, even around the edges a little bit. And my nails are getting a little long anyway, so I wanted to shorten those up. So let's go ahead and shape up that free edge just a little bit, clean that up. And again, you guys, make sure to get those cuticles pushed back, clean up the cuticles, clean up anything that may be stuck down onto that natural nail. Get all of those sharp edges out of the way. And just do a quick shape up here. All right, you guys, what are you thinking so far? Which one is your favorite design? Do you like the pumpkins? Do you like the bats and the spooky ones? Let me know. Let me know which you like best. All right. Again, just really quickly shaping those up. And on this one, I'm not going to use that cuticle softener, but you can definitely use that cuticle softener if you want to soften up those cuticles a little bit before you do your pushing. But otherwise, we can just go through, do a quick cuticle work, push back those cuticles. And you guys, I'm working on myself with my non-dominant hand here. So I want to make sure that you guys are seeing how quick and easy this can actually be, even on yourself. But if you're working in salon on your clients, I think this is also a fun thing to add in for the holidays. And I know people will say, well, if it's just press-ons, then why can't I just do them myself? And you can. you can definitely do them yourself. But I think as a salon add-on, sometimes, you know, if people come in with their kids and their kids want a set, this is a great option to apply, you know, for their kids, things like that. If if you have clients that maybe they're more of a natural nail kind of a person, or maybe they just normally do a gel manicure, but for the holiday they want something a little bit fun, this is a really good fun temporary kind of a set that they could do, or you can add into your service menu. So you guys, lots of different options here, lots of different things. As a pro or as a DIYer, it's going to be a great option for you. Now, normally if I were doing these just on myself, I would probably use the little file that comes in the kit. So you can use either that file, or you can use that little orange wood stick to push back your cuticles. Personal preference. But for myself, I actually do like either our 180 file buffer combos or the 240 file buffer combos. I really feel like these get right up into that cuticle area really easily and really clean that dead cuticle off. All right, let's go ahead and cleanse our nails. And we're going to be cleansing our nails with our swipe. So I'm going to take a little bit of that swipe on my lint-free wipe. Go through, we'll cleanse that nail, get all of that dust off of there, any dead skin that's on there still, any dust, any contaminants, anything like that. And we'll get that cleaned up. All right, and then for our nails, where did my other set go here? Okay, so we've got, again, we're working with the Full Moon Frights, and we've got some of the more common shapes in the actual top part of our package here. So we're going to open that up, have access to those, and then I've also got my other sizes here all laid out. So let's start with our pinky, and I think the smallest one is going to be a little too small. That is definitely a little too small. Let's come in so you guys can see. So maybe we'll go up a size here. So this one, all right, so this one is looking really good. Now you guys, these are a little bit of a tighter C curve because they're a little bit more of that coffin shape, a little bit more tapered. So on some of these, you may need to go the size bigger so that it fits your C curve. But again, if you need to, you can always come back through and you can customize up around that cuticle area a little bit, shape that up so that it's not going to be pushing, or it's not going to be adhered onto your skin. So just go ahead and gently shape that up. I think that is going to be so cute. I love it. I love it. So we're going to set that one to the side here. For my ring finger, I think we'll go to, there we go. So we're going to go with those bats. Now again, when you're sizing out, you want to make sure that you're sizing it so it does come all the way from sidewall to sidewall. See how this one's hanging? My natural nail is hanging out a little bit on that edge. So on this one, I think I do want to go up a size. Now, this one is a little bit on the large size. That actually might fit on my middle finger here. So we're going to save that for the middle finger. But let me grab that other box of nails here. And this is, like I said, these are the more common sizes. So I think this one is probably going to fit much better. There we go. So that one definitely looks like it's fitting a little bit better from side to side, and even up into my cuticle area, that looks like it's going to fit pretty well. So let's grab that one. And just to check and see though, I just want to see how some of these little ghosts are going to fit. Maybe I can get away with one of these ghosts, because I think I want to add one of the ghosts into my design here, into my set. And actually, I think this one fits really well. So this one, I think I'm going to use this one. It's just about to the edge of my nail here, but I think that's going to be just fine. So we're going to go with the ghost on the ring finger, and I think we'll go with, maybe we'll go with the bat. You know what? I'm going to check and see here, because I want to work with some of these orange ones. So I'm going to try one of the orange ones on my thumb. And that actually is going to fit really well. So that's going to fit really well. Now I do want to adjust that cuticle area just a little bit. Do you see how You guys, I need to trim my cuticles here, so don't judge on that. But do you see how when I put that, that tip back to my cuticle area, I have a very square cuticle area, and this is a little bit more rounded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through with my file and just flatten out that back area a little bit. So this way it's going to fit a little bit more flush back into my cuticle area so that it's not going to look fake. Even though they're you know, they're not my real nails here, or you know, they're my real nails underneath there. But we'll kind of taper that through, and now that's going to fit a little bit more flush back into my cuticle area. So I think I like the orange one on my thumb. Now I just have to decide, do I want the ghosts or what do I want on the rest of them here? All right, you guys, hold on a second. I lost my nails here. So we've got our pinky, we've got our ring, we've got our middle. What are we going to put on that pointer? Do we want the ghosts? I think we're going to do, well, maybe if we put the ghosts there, maybe we can do another orange in the middle. I think I want a little bit more orange there. And I think that one is going to fit just right too. So this one we'll go ahead and, again, kind of taper that a little bit on those edges, make sure it's not hanging off. And I think that is going to be the designs and the sets that we're going to use, or the nails that we're going to use for a set. And you guys, like I said, you can kind of mix and match these a little bit. So you can see here, I had the option of doing the bats in the middle, but I wanted to add in that little bit more orange, and I think that's going to make the set pop a little bit more. So we've got our nails sized out and ready to go. We're going to grab that polish remover, and let me set my nails off to the side here. And I got to find my brush. So I'm going to take my polish remover and pump a little bit of that up into the top cup, and using my polish detailer brush here, I am going to just apply a little bit of that polish remover into the well of my tip. And what this is going to do is going to give that tip a little bit better adhesion. So when I do put those adhesive tabs in there, those adhesive tabs are really going to adhere really, really well. So it's going to just kind of create a little more texture and a little bit more of a tacky surface to apply those tabs to. All right, so we got our next one here, a little bit more, just right in there, and you don't have to oversaturate it, just enough to create a little bit of a sticky surface. And brushing through there. Okay, and at this point, we'll go ahead and apply our adhesive tabs. So the tabs, we've got basically 2 sets of them here. And on my smaller one, I already used that smaller one on my first hand, so I'm going to work with that second side here. So let me peel off that plastic backing there. So I'm going to size these out, and I'm going to check that just by holding that tip behind the tab and kind of check that size. I'm going to just press that down in there, and I think that smallest size is going to fit the best. So we're going to peel off. There's a little tag right there. I'm going to grab that little tag, peel off the tab from the backing, stick that right down into our well, and you want to make sure that you're covering as much of that well as possible. So this way it's going to adhere really, really tight into that nail. If you only put your adhesive tab right in the center and there's just a small tab on there, it's not going to adhere as well. So make sure that when you're sizing these out, that you do size out those tabs so that they are going to go all the way from one side of the tip to the other. So again, peel off that tab, set that down in there, and I'm leaving that little tag right on the end, so this way when I go to apply the nails, I can just grab that little tag and peel that off and apply the nails. So nice and quick and easy. The next one here I think is going to be the number 12. And again, you guys, you can use the adhesive tabs if you're doing more of a temporary service, or if you are doing more of a permanent. I don't want to say permanent because these aren't going to be permanent, but the kits also come with, let me show you here real quick. They do come with a tube of glue. So you can use the glue instead of the adhesive tabs if you're going to be wearing these for a little bit longer. But if you're going to be just wearing these for maybe a weekend or something like that, the adhesive tabs are going to work really well. So just for kind of a shorter application, the adhesive tabs are going to be great. So again, we're going to set that down into the well, and I'm really going through and really squishing that adhesive down into the well to really make sure that it grabs on, so that way my nails are going to adhere a lot better. All right, so last one, I think we're going to go with the number 1 again. Peel that off, set that, oops, there's a little fuzz right in the back there. I'm going to set that right down into the well. Get that really on there nice and tight. And then we will go ahead and find my tweezer. I lost that again. All right, you guys. So we're going to take our tweezer and we're going to peel off the backing. You guys, I see a lot of some questions in the chat here, and my chat was not moving, so I'm sorry I missed your questions in the chat. Hopefully our moderators have been able to answer those for you, but I think I'm back on track with our chat now. Okay, so I grabbed my tweezers. I'm just going to use my tweezer to peel off, so that little tag that's kind of hanging out the back, I'm going to peel off that. So now it's exposing that adhesive. And we're going to take that tip and I'm going to start with it at a slight downward angle. I'm not just going to press it on flat, because you guys, once these tabs come in contact with your nail, they don't generally like to let go. So what we're going to do, we're going to set that down at an angle. I'm going to touch that nail. I'm going to slide that tip back. So this way it's almost kind of coming underneath your cuticle area, so it doesn't look like it's actually setting on the skin. We don't want it on the skin, so we want it just right up to, right up to that cuticle area. Slide that down, push back that cuticle. Now I'm going to just start to rock that onto the nail until it just grabs on, and then I'm going to look at that nail. Does that look nice and straight? If it doesn't, I can just shimmy that over a little bit, and then once it's in place, then I'll use my thumb here and really squish that down on to really adhere that down onto the nail. So nice, quick, easy application. Super cute. I love those little jack-o'-lanterns on there. All right, let's grab our next nail here. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to peel off that adhesive backing. And you guys, make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I've kind of forgotten to remind you guys to do that. I've been so excited about these tips here today. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. Somebody's asking, is the other hand also press-ons? Yes, you guys. On my other hand, I did the other hand first. So you guys, we will post our video here back up on our YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, and then you can always rewatch the video again. So if you missed that first hand, you can come back and rewatch that first hand. I'm going to show you all of the other tips that I was working with here today once I get these nails on again. So stick around with us, make sure to stay with us and keep watching, and I'll show you guys all of the other nails that I was using today. So let's get our middle nail on here, peel off that backing, set that tip down, push back that cuticle area, just gently connect it. That one is a little bit crooked because my nail itself is a little crooked, so I want to make sure to straighten that out. And we'll set that down, kind of pinch that down on there, and get that on there nice and tight. We'll grab our pointer. Now you guys, I do start, I don't know if you noticed this, but I do start from my pinky and I work towards my thumb. So this way, especially if I'm working on myself, I can still use kind of those dominant fingers, and I'm not working with the nails on my thumb and my pointer. So just another quick little tip to help you guys as you're doing your own applications. Again, set that down, slide that back, tuck up under that cuticle, make sure it's nice and straight, secure that down. Looking good there. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am loving these. They're so cute. They are so cute. And our last nail here, our thumbnail, we're going to peel off that tab. Again, kind of come in at an angle, set that down, slide that back up under that cuticle area, and straighten that out. Secure it all the way down there. And we've got our nails on. So one more time, I'm gonna add a little bit of our cuticle oil. I think this one, I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on my finger because again, I don't want too much oil on here. I do want enough to keep my cuticles hydrated and keep them looking nice and healthy after we cleanse that with our swipe. But I don't want so much where that oil is dripping underneath there, because if you use a lot of cuticle oil, that is going to start to loosen up that, that adhesive. And so this way we're gonna keep our nails on, but we're gonna keep those cuticles nice and hydrated. All right, you guys, let me show you our final look here. And then I'm going to show you guys one more time all of our different tips that we have now for you. So our first ones that we were working with, let me grab my, my labels here. Okay, so the full moon frights, let me see here. The full moon frights is these. So the ghosts and the goblins and all of those fun things, that is the full moon frights. And then on my other hand here, we've got the Boo Crew. Let me grab those. So the Boo Crew are all of these. And again, you guys, on my little tile here, we've got these top 2 rows. That's all part of the Boo Crew as well. And then we have, our next one was, you guys, I've got so many things on my station here. Don't Blink, which are the kind of those blood drips and French and the eyeballs. And then our last one that we have for Halloween is the Wicked Eclipse. And these are, let me show you guys the packaging in those. Those are the stars and moons, and then some other blood drips on those as well. Can't see them very well on the black there, so I just want to show you there real quick. And again, you guys, make sure to check these out on our website. All of these 4 new ones for Halloween are just a limited edition, so you want to make sure that you get them quick before Halloween comes in. And then also we are doing a bundle deal. So if you purchase any of the, whoops, I just tossed all of those here. But if you purchase any of the Halloween press-on sets, you will get your choice of a free one of our original sets. And I was showing you guys earlier, we've got a whole bunch of different designs that you can choose from, but some of my favorites, if you're wanting some more for Halloween, are gonna be we've got the Mommi-Orange, which is this one, and that actually goes really well with the orange here, so that'd be kind of a fun accent on those nails. We've got the Mommi-White, we've got the Jade Allure, which I think, again, are gonna be really fun for Halloween. And I really love these, you guys. These are the Citrus Crush. So super, super pretty, super bright. Again, great for Halloween. So you could get any of these ones as your free, free with purchase or free as the bundle deal when you do buy any of the Halloween designs. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Somebody says they're not all available on the website. All of the Halloween ones are on the website. And I did check to see that the ones that I just showed you, these are also on the website as well. So make sure to check on there. Oh, somebody says there's no spider webs. So the ones that have the spider webs are the, let me think, the Boo, I think it's the Boo Crew. Yes, the Boo Crew. So the ones that have the spider webs, it's this set right here all together. And it's what I've got on my nails on my left hand here. So yes, the ones that with the spider webs, you can't actually see them in the package because they're not in that top one here, but they are part of the Boo Crew. So I hope that makes sense. But yes, they are in the Boo Crew pack. So yep. Yeah, you guys, and make sure if you haven't already, hit subscribe. If you want to see all of the different designs here, let me show you guys one last time. I've got them on my my palette here. So again, the Full Moon Frights is the one that I've got on my right hand here. It's all of these designs up on the top. So you can kind of see nice and close. Let's see, which one do we have? Like I said, you guys, too many things here. Don't Blink is the red ones with the eyeballs. And same thing, that's all of the designs down here. So it's got the solid red, it's got the eyeballs, it's got the French manicure look. And then we've also got the Boo Crew, which was the ones that I just showed you here up on top there. and on my left hand here, so with the spider webs. And then the last one that we've got for Halloween is the Wicked Eclipse, which is the black and red ombre, kind of an aura look with the moons and the stars and the blood drips on those as well. So you guys make sure to check these out all on our website, youngnails.com. Hopefully you enjoyed our lesson today. Hopefully you are excited about the Halloween season, and if you're not already, hopefully you will grab some fun nails to put on yourself or on your client. And make sure to hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys back next time. Thanks, everybody.